Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Cinema Review. My name is Scott. Today we'll be ranking all the current DCEu movies. I believe there's about 11 of them. I'm ready. I got the DC Super Friends shirt from Loot Crate, not a sponsor. But let's have some fun with this. It's going to be a good video. It's going to be a long one. Make sure to hit the like button if you like something like this so I can know what you guys like and we'll continue to do more stuff for that. But let's just get right into it. So coming at number 11 is the 2016 Suicide Squad directed by David Ayer. I saw this movie 5 times in theaters. I said this before on the channel, but I really did love this movie when I first saw it. I was like 16 years old, so I was just having a good time with it. Now when I watch it, I think it kind of sucks. Like, not even kind of, like, it pretty much sucks. I'll tell you about the good real quick. It has a great soundtrack that I think will hold up pretty well. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is perfect casting. It still is. She's one of the best things about the DCEU. Jared Leto's Joker, as we saw in the Snyder Cut, I think he could be a really good Joker, but the Suicide Squad movie just doesn't really utilize him as much as I want him to, and he can't really show off his talent in that movie. You know, he has a couple of good scenes where he's in it, but I think the script is so bad and so lazy and so cringe that he just comes off as cringe, you know. I like how he was like flamboyant at times, you know. I like that in my Joker, but he was just too much. And I think I'd walk away now thinking that he's like the worst Joker we've seen. Another thing I like about this movie is I like how there's some like cool tidbits, and it does like at the time it did a really good job at world building. It made me want to see more from this DC universe. You know, we see that I think Harley killed Dick Grayson, right, as like a little thing. We see Ben Affleck show up as Batman and fight Deadshot. And he shows up twice in that movie, so I thought that was really cool to have him in there. I like when the movie, you know, builds more up on that whole universe. But other than that, I mean, the movie just sucks. Like I said, the rest of the characters are meh. Most importantly, Enchantress as a villain is terrible. She is so bad. And when it comes down to it, this is just a Frankenstein of a movie. You know, Warner Brothers just edited the shit out of this movie. David Ayer said that he couldn't have any creative control as much as he wanted to. And you can tell in this movie, it's edited bad. The whole script sucks. The movie looks terrible at times. So, with all that being said, this is last place in my ranking. Next up, coming in number 10, is the 2017 Justice League, directed by Joss Whedon. Or everyone likes to call it nowadays, the Justice League. This was another one where I didn't, like, hate it when I first saw it, or at least I don't think. I mean, I was older by now. I was probably, like, 18 when I first saw it. I should have known, like, what a good movie is, what isn't. But I remember, like, not really having any thoughts about it after, so I must have not liked it back then. Nowadays, I hate it even more, and with all the new allegations coming about Joss Whedon and how he was like threatening Gal Gadot on set and all these weird things, it really just makes this movie worse. And this movie was a big miss. Joss Whedon just doesn't do a good job at all. The whole movie feels clunky literally from the beginning to the very end. The whole thing feels clunky. The movie starts out with this phone camera shot of Superman with the infamous CGI mustache. And it just looks so bad. And from then on out, the whole movie just feels so clunky. Steppenwolf just comes out of nowhere with like no explanation on him. I didn't care for him at all. Ben Affleck as Batman is pretty bad in this one. He's making too many jokes. He doesn't even feel like Batman when he's interacting with these characters. Like, he doesn't come off as Batman at all. And another one who doesn't feel like his character is Ezra Miller as the Flash. I still don't like Ezra Miller as a Flash. I think Ezra Miller's a fine actor. I've really only seen him in Perks of Being a Wallflower other than these DC movies, but he just doesn't feel like Barry Allen to me. He just feels like this comedic, stupid character. And in this movie, he just makes all these lame, stupid jokes, and I didn't like it. And even the Snyder Cut, they kind of like redeem him a little bit, but I just still don't believe him as Barry Allen. Another clunky thing I didn't like was Cyborg's CGI suit. It's literally so bad that every time it was on screen, it literally pulled me out of the movie. I couldn't even concentrate on anything else that was going on because his suit looked that bad. And then we don't really even get Superman until the last like 20 minutes of the movie. I know Snyder Cut does the same thing. Like, he just comes late, but at least that movie's like 4 hours and 2 minutes. So we get a good amount of Henry Cavill in this one. In this one, Superman just comes out of nowhere, like just barely says any lines, saves the day, and that's it. You know, so I just thought it was stupid. Literally, the only positive I can take away from this movie is that the Batman suit looks pretty good. That's it. Everything else sucks. This movie will be lost in time now that the Snyder Cut is out. And people will forget about this movie, unfortunately. Or maybe it'll just be known as one of the worst DC movies, because it is. On to the next one. Alright, so now some of you may not agree with this next one, but at number 9, I got Birds of Prey, directed by Cathy. I didn't like this movie. I've seen it about twice now, and I still have the same thoughts about it. I tried liking it a little bit more in the second time, but I still didn't really enjoy it that much. The positive is that Margot Robbie still is really good at Harley Quinn. She's a lot of fun with this. She continues to prove that she's the best adaptation. A lot of the other characters I didn't really care for. I thought Huntress was really cool, and I wish we got more of her, but we kind of don't. Only towards the end is where we really get more of her actually getting into the story. But I liked how we show her background in the beginning. And I also like Black Canary. I thought she was really cool too, and I like how she worked for Black Mask and she like worked for him but didn't like agree with what he was doing. But Montoya, I hated. Oh my god, I really hate Montoya in this. I know Montoya from the comics and in the Telltale games. I kind of know what her character is, but this one is just like they make her like this feminist, like too in your face. You know, it's just like too much when she's wearing like the suck my ball shirt or whatever, and she's going around. And it's like, oh, like the guy takes her job and like all this stuff. It just came off as like bullshit to me. But yeah, so I didn't like her. I don't like Black Mask either. I'm a huge Ewan McGregor fan. I love Ewan McGregor. For my Star Wars background, I've always loved him. I've loved him and everything else. In this one, he does a good job, right? But his Black Mask, I think he's just too different from the Black Mask that I know. I kind of just see more Black Mask from the Batman Arkham Origins game and the DC animated movie. He's got that raspy voice. He's really violent. He comes off as intimidating to me, Black Mask. And this one, he's just flamboyant. He barely wears his mask till the end. He just sends people to do his bidding. He doesn't commit like one act of violence in this whole movie. He just tells people to go do this random shit, and he's just too flamboyant. I think if this was like a new villain, I think it would have worked for me. But when I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is supposed to be Black Mask, I just don't believe it. Another thing I liked was actually the choreography in this, the fight choreography. I think it kind of mirrors Harley Quinn's gymnast background, and I really did enjoy that. I like how like comic accurate it was, but the actual story of this is so awful. I think the story's so bad. It's literally about Harley's trying to get this diamond, but then this little girl swallows the diamond. So now they have to like try to like force her like to shit out the diamond so Black Mask doesn't kill her. It's so weird. It's just such a weird, stupid story. It just came off as too silly for me. I did like how we have to see like Harley recovering from the breakup with Joker. I thought that was cool. But like that combined with like this diamond story, I just didn't like it. And it even takes too long to even get into that bad story. The whole first hour just feel like these random scenes that's supposed to be comedic. And I was like, all right, let's get into like the actual story. And then once we get into it, I was like, this is so bad. So I just didn't like it. I think it could have been better. If you can, you can definitely have fun with this movie. For the people that have fun with it, I get it. If you're a Birds of Prey fan, by all means, please continue being a Birds of Prey fan. Don't let my dumb thoughts, obscure you from your thoughts. But I think this could have been better. I just look at it as like mediocre. It's not awful. I think it's watchable, but it's kind of low in my rankings right now. All right, so we're already at 8 minutes here. I didn't want this video to be like super long, so I'm gonna try and shorten these explanations down a little bit. But next up at number 8 is Wonder Woman 1984. This movie I didn't like at all, pretty much. I think there's some good things here and there. I like Pedro Pascal as the villain, but I don't know if I've only seen this movie once, so I don't know if it's like I only liked Pedro Pascal then because there's a lot of Mandalorian hype at the same time, and I was just like, all right, I don't care. Like I'll eat up anything Pedro Pascal right now. I thought he did pretty good. Gal Gadot was still good at Wonder Woman, but this one was just too campy. It was just weird. Like it starts out like I get it's supposed to be 80s, supposed to have that vibe, but I just didn't really buy it. It was just like too much. Like Wonder Woman, the first one, it was like more serious tone. It focuses more on that character, and like this one just it was weird. Like we have Chris Pine coming back, but like it's not really Chris Pine. It's like her imagining it's Chris Pine. So I thought that was weird. The whole stone thing and like getting the powers from it wasn't that good. Cheetah, Kristen Wiig was good as Cheetah. I'm not gonna lie, I liked her. I thought she was enjoyable. Once we get that fight where we see her, it's so bad. The CGI. I remember seeing it in the trailer, and we were like, "Hey, that CGI looks kind of bad. I hope the movie's probably gonna fix that up." And the movie shows up, and it's like, "Wow, that's still pretty bad." And they try to like make it dark so that like we can't tell like it looks bad, but like now it just looks even worse. Now you have like this really dark looking scene with the bad CGI, and it's bad. Yes, my positives really are just that Gal Gadot I still like as Wonder Woman. I think the movie's watchable, but it's not something I would ever really want to go and revisit. Like, what's the point? There's not much that really happens. Like, the stuff that does happen isn't that interesting, so I don't really care for it. But on to the next one. Alright, so the next one at number 7 is Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition. I guess we can throw in there. Directed by Zack Snyder. This is another one where I think I enjoyed it when I first saw it. There was just so much hype around it. It was Batman versus Superman. We've been waiting for this for live action for so long, right? And it finally comes. And I thought it was Oh, good. I think I remember getting really hyped in the movie theaters. I remember when the Flash showed up and that dream scene of where Ben Affleck's sleeping and the Flash was up. I got so hyped for that. That was the first time we saw the Flash. It was like I knew Flashpoint was coming from the comics. Like I got so hyped. Now when I watch it and I kind of see like where things have led to, it does feel sort of clunky at times. There are things I like about the movie. It's like sits there in the middle of me, like where I'm like, wow, there's a lot of good things I like in this movie. There's also a lot of bad things. I remember on Instagram I wrote a review for it. I literally wrote like 4 pages of stuff on this movie, of stuff I like, stuff I did. I'm not going to go into everything right now, but the main thing that messes this movie up for me is this guy. It's Lex Luthor. I almost said Mark Zuckerberg as Lex Luthor. It's Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. He is so bad in this movie. He is not Lex Luthor. Like, who the fuck hired this guy? Like, Zack Snyder, why would you pick Jesse Eisenberg for Lex Luthor? Like, the most nerdy fucking dude to play this most, like, intimidating, brolic-looking motherfucker in the comics. Like, what are you doing? I'm sorry, I get so mad because he's just so... I don't like him at all. The Jolly Rancher Cherry scene pisses me off. The way he talks, oh my god, it's just so bad. But the things I do like, I do like the Batman versus Superman scene. I think it kind of lives up to that expectation of what we wanted of that actual fight happening. Obviously, it could have been better, but I think it does a good job. I wish it kind of was longer. I wish that whole fight was longer. It ends in the stupid Martha scene. I don't like the Martha thing. I think it is dumb. And then, luckily, the Doomsday fight scene at the end, it's pretty cool, but it's only really because Wonder Woman comes down with her music hits. And dude, I got so hyped for that part too, man. That's probably my favorite scene is when Wonder Woman comes down. She does the whole scene, the music hits, Hans Zimmer, and they fight it out. I thought that was really cool. And then towards the end, it does get good. But overall, it's just one of those movies where I sit in the middle. I'm like, oh, you could have been so much better. You could have been so much better. But so many things hold it back. So it kind of just sits in the middle of my rankings. On to the next one. Next up, coming number 6 is Aquaman, directed by James Wan. My favorite horror directors from Insidious and The Conjuring. He's now taking up the next superhero movie, Aquaman. Now, I know I've been saying that I've liked these DC movies upon a first watch, right, in theaters. In Aquaman, I didn't just like Aquaman when I first saw it. I loved Aquaman when I first saw it. I had like a 4.5-star rating when I first saw it. It it brought so much emotion to me. Like just the whole Nicole Kidman mom relationship, I really really loved. Jason Momoa, he's a lot different from the Arthur Curry we know in the comics. He brings his own thing to it, but unlike Ezra Miller's Flash, where he doesn't play Barry Allen, like he just doesn't do his own thing that I like either. Aquaman, Jason Momoa's Aquaman, it's not like Arthur Curry, but he does his own thing to where I do like it. He's not like this comedic stupid character. He's kind of like this intimidating, cool thing. He's like its own thing, and it works for me. Um, so yeah, I really liked this movie when I first saw it. I think it looks beautiful. I think it's one of the most beautiful looking superhero movies like ever made. Even though it is really digital and some people don't like that, I still can't deny that it looks really good. But now when I watch this movie, I see so many bad things. It is a little bit too campy for me at times. That whole desert scene, I never noticed in that desert scene when they jump out of the plane, the fucking song they're playing is Pitbull. It's like Rain down in Africa, but like Pitbull version. Like what the fuck is that? Like it's so bad. And then it makes like some dumb jokes, like some dumb music, and like that was like one of the worst scenes in the DCEU. Um, but I like Willem Dafoe in it. I do like the whole brother fight stuff that happens towards the end. The whole movie, the whole brother fight scene, I thought was good. You had Ivan Drago in there. I keep forgetting the actor's name. But so the movie overall, I think is watchable. I don't love it as much as that first time watch, but yeah, I think I just see too many bad things in it. So that's it. Let's go on to the next one. Don't get me wrong, I do like Aquaman. I know I just ended that review of that with like negatively, but like I do like Aquaman. I probably like it more than a lot of people do, and that's still like that first feeling of the first time I watched it. It still carries on the movie most of the time, but like I said, there's a little bit of bad, but I do like it. I think it's a good movie, and I do enjoy it. I think it's actually really good. But moving on, at number 5, I think we're up to now, is Shazam, directed by David F. Sandberg. I really, really like Shazam. I think it's a fun movie. I think it's a great, just fun movie. It's like, there's not really much else to say. It's just a great time. I think it's funny. The only problem I have is just the transition from Billy Bats to Shazam. Just that younger self to older self does feel a little weird. Billy Bats as the kid, he's kind of like this loner. He doesn't like to talk that much. He's very angry and like just kind of like does whatever. He doesn't want to talk to anyone. Then all of a sudden he becomes like a superhero. And what's his name? Zach Levy? No, yeah, Zachary Levy. He's really fun, but he's also so different from the kid character. Like all of a sudden he's a superhero, and he's just like laughing, cracking all these good jokes, like doing all this shit, and just like even now, and like, after so many times watching it, I just pick on it like every single time. I just notice it. But the other character's really cool. I love the whole family dynamic thing to it. The villain is good too. I love the whole seven deadly sins. So overall, I mean, I put this movie at 5 because I think it's a really fun, entertaining movie, and just not that much else to say. It's just a fun movie, and that's it. Now, next, I'm at number 4. I'm putting here the new 2021 The Suicide Squad movie directed by James Gunn. I just did a whole review on this movie, so I'm not going to go into all those details of stuff that I liked and I didn't like. But overall, it's a really funny movie. It's another great time, just like DC. You know, it's something you can just put on, turn your brain off, and it's just a fun time. Again, I don't like that middle part of the movie with Harley Quinn and like the foreign general villains. I don't like that. All the other characters I really love, especially Bloodsport, King Shark, Peacemaker's my favorite character again. And another thing I didn't like was that a lot of the jokes, a lot of the great ones were all in the trailer, like the angel splooging on us, and I talked about all that already. So overall, I'm putting Suicide Squad here at 4. I think it's a really great DC movie, but I think there are a couple that are just better and more my style that I like more. Next up at number 3 is Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder. Every time I rewatch Man of Steel, I actually like it a little bit more. I think when I first saw it, I thought it was boring, and I actually didn't like it that much. But Henry Cavill's Superman has grown on me a lot more, and I think just throughout the years, he's going to keep getting better and better for me. And this movie, I think, is really good. I think Hans Zimmer's score elevates it to a different level. That whole scene is like beautiful and immaculate when Superman walks through the doors and he's like really just becoming Superman. You got Russell Crowe's father like talking to him while he's like really about to like take off. I think that's such a great scene. Like I said, Henry Cavill's good. Michael Shannon is a really underrated actor nowadays. He doesn't get the credit he deserves. I think he played a good Val-Zod. This movie's like a mix of like Superman 1 and Superman 2 from the originals because of Val-Zod and everything. But I mean, the story is good. Yeah, it's a little bit of a darker interpretation of Superman, especially with the decisions he makes with Val-Zod. I mean, killing him and all that stuff. Spoiler alert. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. It's different, and I like it. So I'm putting it here at number 3. On to the next. At number 2, I got none other than Wonder Woman, directed by Patty Jenkins, coming up in 2017. I really, really, really love Wonder Woman. Even when I rewatch it, I think it's such a great movie. It's just really powerful for me. I don't know why. Like Gal Gadot's performance really hits me hard. Her character study of the whole movie is really good. It's not only like really funny at times, but it's just like I don't know. The stakes feel high. I mean, she's fighting Ares. I thought Ares was really good. I like the actor who plays Professor Lupin in Harry Potter. I keep forgetting his name. That's such a disrespect because he's such an underrated actor. I forgot his name. I'm sorry, but I thought Ares was good. The whole twist on like who he is and who he was and all that stuff is really good. There's a couple more twists with like her sword and like who she really thinks she is. Like, is she a god? Is she just? Oh no, that's a spoiler. I mean, it's a spoiler, but you think she's just like an Amazon warrior. Then you realize like she's like an actual goddess at the end. I really love that. The fight scenes were great. Her powers are great. Chris Pine, the love interest, is really good. I love seeing Themyscira. I thought they did really good. All the other characters in that. So overall, I mean, Wonder Woman sits there. I rate the movie like a 4.5 out of 5. I still really love it. It gets me hype at the end. And that's it. Let's go into the last one. So finally, number 1, I got Zack Snyder's Justice League coming out this year. The Snyder Cut, as everyone likes to call it. I wasn't a huge fan of the Snyder Cut when it was first announced. You know, I was like, yeah, Justice League is bad, but like, how good can the Snyder Cut really be? I mean, like, if there it really is the Snyder Cut out there, it's gonna have to change a lot from the first movie, like a shit ton. Because I didn't like the first one. And you know what? It came out and it just blew me away. I loved it. Even though it is 4 hours and like 2 minutes long, it's a crazy, crazy long movie. Probably the longest movie I ever saw, like for like an actual movie, not like split up in parts like the Human Condition movies or Lord of the Rings. I kind of saw it as like one big movie but split up. Um, but yeah, the Snyder Cut's super, super, super good. I mean, I when I first saw it, I loved it, and then I was like, how will this movie hold up on a rewatch? I mean, it's such a long movie. Am I really gonna be like that interested like on a second time? So literally that same day, that night, I went home and I just like watched it again, seeing like if it would really suck me in again, and it did. I watched all 4 hours of it again. So I watched it twice in one day. I really loved it. I mean, the whole Steppenwolf thing. Steppenwolf was like so much better in this movie. He's further elaborated on. He has a lot more dialogue, a lot more scenes. He has a more of a reason of what he's doing. We actually see Darkseid, which I think is so important. I think Darkseid looks sick. It got me really hyped. I mean, like when at the end where he comes in through the boom tube and fucking Steppenwolf's head like goes into him, I'm like, wow, Warner Brothers really screwed us up this great storyline. Seeing like Justice League versus Darkseid after all that would have been so sick, especially in the and the no, what's it called? Doomsday? Oh no, the Nightmare alternate timeline thing. That was really cool at the end with Joker and Ben Affleck and the whole dialogue there. So we got screwed, honestly. We as fans really got screwed out of this, and seeing this movie just gets me really sad that like we'll never really see what comes after. Even though I know they're making the comics, and it's gonna follow the storyline after, but Snyder Cut really is a beautiful movie. I think it's one of the best superhero movies ever made. Other things I enjoy is that it fixed a lot of the problems in the Justice League. There's not as many jokes. The Flash has a lot more better scenes. A lot of the way the movie looks is fixed up. There's no more red outline stuff at the end. That cool shot where all of them are flying. That's really cool. So yeah, I mean Snyder Cut still holds up well. I really love it. I'm not like a Snyder Cut fanboy, but I can appreciate this movie for what it is, and I'm happy it exists. So that is it. So if you stuck around with me for this long, thank you guys. I know it's a longer video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'm hoping to do a little bit more cool stuff with this. I might do a all live DC action movies ranked. That would be a hell of a long video, so I don't know if I'm going to make it right after this or if I want to wait. But thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.